On today's video, a highlight from Lost Kingdom 76 as the strongest Attila Takeda I have ever seen was on the field, did mayhem. And in this video, I want to show you the report, a little bit of the action from Lost Kingdom 76, tell you a little bit what you should be expecting out of Attila Takeda rallies in terms of the stats, what makes a stronger or a weaker Attila Takeda, and how you can know whether or not what you're looking at is actually insanely good or just very average. So sit back, smash a like on the video, and let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. As Lost Kingdom 76 went bonkers, a bunch of these kingdoms went ham. I'm talking about I think that's 597, if not it's 697. Apologies, I did not remember which one of those two you guys are. But also 618, 623, bonkers stuff going on. But the strongest Attila Takeda I've ever seen was on this video in this KVK. Before we start on, is sponsored on the giver. Slap a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get a notification every time we upload a new video. Make sure you have those all notifications on. And in the comments down below, first of all, let me know what's the strongest Attila Takeda you've seen based on what we're going to tell you in this video, as well as if there's any comments, feedback, suggestions, anything you guys want to let me know about the content I make in the channel. I'm always open for feedback in the comments down below, as well as in my Discord. So madness went on in this KVK. Flags got rallied and swarmed and all that good stuff. Again, swarms on flags, swarms on rallies, swarms on Attila Takedas, swarms on cities, swarms on anything that moves. That's how Rise of Kingdoms has evolved it to be, and I don't think that's a bad thing. If you have the ability to lose the troops, if you have the ability to clear your hospitals, then go bonkers and have fun. Is it the most efficient thing to do? Probably not. Is it the best thing to do? Probably not. But is it something you can do and you should do if you want to do it? Definitely. Absolutely. And I've been seeing more and more of it happening in Rise of Kingdoms, and including zeroing a 72 million power player by swarming him. If you want to see that kind of content, we have that video. Governor went nuts. Make sure you slap a like on this video and let me know in the comments. And so let's get going with the main part of this video. There's going to be a couple of Attila Takeda rallies in this that you really don't want to miss out on, because they will probably astonish you. So what is an Attila Takeda rally? Attila Takeda is the strongest rally pair in Rise of Kingdoms in terms of the amount of damage you're going to be doing. The reason for that is Attila and Takeda essentially enhance your cavalry to attack and counterattack with a much greater effect. Essentially, when you attack a target, every single second you are attacking and counterattacking that certain target. And so when you enhance those attack stats, you're essentially doing more damage every single second rather than enhancing skill damage, which is done every few seconds as part of rage regeneration and proccing of a skill. Attila Takeda do raw damage, and it is insanely hard to get away from. It fills hospitals with severely wounded, and it's just the strongest rally pair still in Rise of Kingdoms. There have been many talks about how to break them, how to defend against them, how to counter it, and all that good stuff. But you should understand what an Attila Takeda rally looks like, a strong one, and that requires of you to look at two stats of that Attila Takeda: cavalry health and cavalry attack. Now, health in general is the most important stat in the game. It's essentially how you protect yourself from taking less losses, and by taking less losses means you're doing more damage long term. The more troops available in your rally and whatever it is, the more damage you're doing. The less there are, the less damage you're doing. And so in that scenario, health is in theory the strongest stat in the game. But when it comes to Attila Takeda, folks have been stacking attack to get that Attila Takeda to do a dumb amount of damage from the get-go and just keep going with it. And the assumption here is that you will do so much more damage to your enemy before your enemy does damage to you that they'll always get weaker quicker than you do, and therefore you'll continually always do more damage to them. Now, in a world where you want to have a crazy Attila Takeda, stacking attack is not a bad thing, but stacking health is also very important. An average Attila Takeda will probably have about 265 to 275% worth of attack. 260 to 275% cavalry attack is an average Attila Takeda attack. 275 to 280, 290 is an above average Attila Takeda. And Attila Takedas with above 290 attack, all the way to the 300s plus, are the stronger Attila Takedas that tend to do a lot more damage. When it comes to health, between the 70 percenters is a average Attila Takeda, upper 60s to 70s is the average Attila Takeda, all the way to the mid 80s, upper 80s is a above average Attila Takeda, and strong Attila Takedas tend to go up to even 114% health. This first report is probably one of the craziest Attila Takeda rallies I've seen from our friend Andy Orange from Kingdom 623. And this man destroyed this flag. 28.8 million power down, 3 million dead troops, 936,000 severely wounded. That's almost 4 million troops worth down the drain. 2.5 million on the other side on the attack. And this is how he got it done. 320% attack and 92% health. That is truly astonishing, especially for a non-heroic anthem KVK. He's not only stacked up on the attack, he has a very, very strong health. 92% is very, very strong. And so this rally is just bonkers. And it shows. Now, on top of that, our friends of 6923, of course, went to swarm the flag. Some of them did better than others. The majority took a pretty big hit swarming this flag. But now you ask me, Gekko, how on earth did this dude get to 320? First and foremost, I have another report coming up in this video where he even steps up the game further, so you don't want to miss out on that. Secondly, the way you get to those kinds of numbers requires a perfect world combination of the following things. The one thing that is within the two things, I guess, that are within the player's control are equipment. The better equipment he has, the better. The more special talented equipment, the more legendary special talented, the better he is. And War Frenzy. You got to make sure you maintain yourself in War Frenzy because that's more 3% damage that you don't want to miss out. A lot of folks who rally for over 15 minutes tend to lose their War Frenzy and completely don't notice it. And actually, point number 3 that is within the player's control is a 10% attack buff. Those are the 3 things that the player himself has to do in order to get to these numbers. But there are also things that the player has to do that are not within his or her control. And that is, you do want to have a rune, a 10% attack rune, which are not always available. But if it is, that's how you get there. You got to go pick that up and make sure it stays active. On top of that, you might want to have a title. If it's not King, then any attack title, maybe Justice does the trick as it's an attack title. You really want to have those attack titles stacking up as much as you humanly can. As a player, by the way, the one thing that I forgot to mention is you also want to make sure that your commander, under the commander tab, if you click on the top left, on your picture on the top thingy, and then you have commanders, and in there you got to put your Attila Takeda on the rally captain, where he's going to get more attack essentially out of that. It's the perfect combination. You have to get all of these things lined up properly to get those stats. Now, this flag on top of those stats made a huge mistake, and that is right here. At some point, they decided, okay, Artemisia, Charles Martel, and archers, let's go. What's the problem? The problem is that there were infantries in that flag before that. There were infantries coming in after that, and now your infantry defense became an infantry and archers defense. Never ever do it. Lose the rally, let the flag burn, and then switch your captains and your troops in. Do not switch troops and captains inside a flag while the flag is being hit. You're gonna get wrecked. You're gonna take a huge loss trying to make that exchange, because at the time where there are 2 types of troops in the flag and the one type of defense that requires one type of troop, you're gonna take huge amounts of losses. Now, Andy Orange still amazed us with one more report, but this KVK was just completely and utter bonkers. This is a light versus darkness, and it is important to mention that in Heroic Anthem, these stats completely shift. Why? Because the Heroic Anthem researches will give you a lot more stats when it comes to attack, to health, to defense, to rally size, to march size, so forth and so on. So the effect of these stats are even enhanced further in Heroic Anthem. It's why it's important to notice that this is a light versus darkness. This is what you're seeing here is a light versus darkness. in this scenario, we're looking at a very weird thing. I'm talking 2 counter rallies on the 1 rally, which I've never seen before. An Attila Takeda countering the Attila Takeda and a Guan Yu countering the Attila Takeda. Guan Yu Alexander, to be specific. And I mean, I guess it got that bad. I thought for a moment that this was, oh no, sorry. This is a rally hitting the flag, and then there's a counter rally on the rally, and that's a counter rally on the rally on the rally. Something like that. This is not 2, apologies. This is not 2 on the counter rally. This is a rally hitting the flag, a counter rally on the rally, and then a counter rally on the counter rally, which is rallying the flag. Now, it took me a second. I was like, wait, what? No, that's not it. So now that we have that out of the way, that's right there what you're seeing. The rally canceled and the counter rally and the counter to counter canceled as well. And so back to sanity. How can you know whether someone makes a test, whether the test is valid or not, is a really, really important point I want to touch on. Because I have seen tests done not only by creators, but also by many other people inside Ark of Osiris in a practice match to determine the validity and strength of certain commanders. Now, you got to remember that when you're in the Ark, whether it's practice or actual Ark, titles don't count, which is some percentage down. Runes don't count, which is another huge percentage down. And there's a couple of other things that don't count. And the bottom line is that Attila Takeda in Ark of Osiris is actually weaker than the Attila Takeda on the open field, because you can stack a lot more stats onto that Attila Takeda. I don't know to tell you, however, if a Zenobia, for example, is affected that deeply by the stats of infantry as an Attila Takeda is in terms of the overall performance. So when folks said Zenobia is impossible to stop, and a lot of folks said that, and they tested in Ark, they realistically didn't see Attila Takeda at its full potential. I got to see freaking Governor, which is a nuts strong guy, hitting a Zenobia Theodora with his Attila Takeda, and it just destroyed Zenobia Theodora because the Attila Takeda was that buffed up and statted up. So again, when you see tests, try to take a look, ask and demand of the tests to show you the troop buffs, and make sure that Attila Takeda is not just an average Attila Takeda or if he's a strong Attila Takeda. A 265, 269, 270, 272 cavalry attack Attila Takeda performs much worse than a 280, 290, 295, 300% attack Attila Takeda. And so keep your eyes on those stats when you take a look to make sure that you know what you're seeing is true. Trust me when I tell you, there are folks out there putting out wrong reports, and I'm not talking about content creators, I'm talking about actual people in the community who are misguiding others by creating bad scenarios in which they're like, oh, well, this commander sucks, or this commander is amazing, when they actually aren't. So you got to make sure you know what you're looking at, and now you do. As we're getting close to the end of this video, I promised you Andy Orange is going to step it up again and give us a crazier report than he did before. And that happened on this flag right here that we're watching. This flag also had Kingdom buff, which gave him even further stats. Yup, that Kingdom buff came in massive. And as a result, his Attila Takeda went up in its stats. We're going to show you momentarily how that looked like. Another insane report by our friend Andy Orange. Oh boy. A 2-for-1 trade, almost a 2-for-1 trade. 2.7 million troops to the 1.1, including the severely wounded. And a 331% attack Attila Takeda with 91% cavalry health, which is very, very, very good. I mean, there is absolutely nothing that anything can do against that Attila Takeda. You gotta get that your Guan and Alex out and hope and pray you can defend while counter rallying and take a ton of losses just to get that Attila Takeda to go away. But boy, oh boy, those stats, that right there is the strongest I've ever seen an Attila Takeda get in terms of attack. When it comes to health, I've seen 114, 116% cavalry health Attila Takedas that perform just as good, if not a little bit better, But when it comes to attack, that was by far the strongest Attila Takeda attack I've ever seen. If you've seen any stronger, leave me a comment down below and let me know. If you have the screenshot to prove it, please send it to me on Discord. Keep in mind, this is not Heroic Anthem. In Heroic Anthem, those stats make it, I believe, all the way to the 400s too. So keep that in mind. With that being said, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I appreciate every single one of you. Drop the like on this video. Of course, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get a notification every time we upload a new video. Granted, remember that KVK changed the buffs from 10%, 10%, 10% to a lot more attack. So that could explain how he got these numbers. But the numbers are going to start looking like that, and they're going to start looking like a lot more than that. And so make sure you're ready to take losses, because once Attila Takeda hits, it is very, very hard to get out of it without taking massive losses. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you for checking out the channel, subscribing, watching the video, leaving me a comment, interacting with me, helping me slowly and steadily make my dream come true of maybe one day making content for a living and be able to do this full time, put a lot more effort into my editing, into my storytelling, into giving you more. But for now, we're doing our best, and I appreciate all of you for supporting me through this journey. I will see you all sooner rather than later. Enjoy the rest of your week, weekend, afternoon, whatever time it is you're watching this video. Take care and have a good one. Peace.